over the weekend, you know who posted a photo that I guess referenced the war movie Apocalypse Now?
Is that real?
Where
Yes,
he threatened that Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War. And border czar Tom Homan said he's sending in ICE too. Take a look.
Should we expect action in Chicago this week?
Absolutely. You can expect action in most sanctuary cities across the country. President Trump's prioritized sanctuary cities because sanctuary cities knowingly release illegal alien public safety threats to the streets every day. That's where the problem is.
The President of the United States essentially just declared war on a major city in his own nation. This is not normal, Margaret. This is not acceptable behavior.
So here's a question. You know, last week, Georgia Hyundai plant, where over 450 people were taken into custody, suspected of living and working illegally. Over 300 of them were South Korean. Did you know they were here to build a plant to create American jobs?
Oh, wow.
And they rounded them up.
And they rounded them up. And I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. This isn't about sanctuary cities. This isn't about rounding up rough, bad people. This is about y'all being pissed off about something. Because if this was about rounding up people who were bad for the country, you all would be doing a totally different kind of job. That is my opinion.
Well,
and that's what I'm putting out, because you asked people to come in and build this for you. You asked them in. You said, here's the job. And then you say, oh, and we're arresting you.
So I also think you can't separate the politics from this. The midterms are coming. I think Trump has had this benefit of having control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. And what he's trying to do, and I'd caution Democrats, he's trying to goad them into saying there is no problem with crime in this whole country. He wants people to take this stance.
We know better than that.
I know, but I think we've had this cycle where Democrats can downplay an issue, the border and some crime in cities, and then Trump swoops in and overcorrects in the most massive way. I've never supported having troops in American cities. It doesn't make sense. It's not the way to police the streets. But Chicago, for example, over Labor Day weekend, 8 people were murdered and 25 plus people were hit with stray bullets. That deserves a response. It deserves a law enforcement response. It should be in coordination with the federal government. It should be the state and local officials that should lead it. Yeah. But he has this way of speaking to people's anxieties. And when they feel like they're not safe in their communities, regardless of what the macro stats say, he taps into that. It's the grievance politics that got him elected.
A lot of authoritarians do that. This is nothing new around the world. When they become autocrats,
but
they start with
some of it is legitimate. Like, you can't dismiss that.
Chicago's issues have been going down, as many cities have. Some go up, they go up and down and up and down. But to come in and talk and to bully and say, we're sending in ICE, you're not supposed to. Why are you sending in ICE?
Because they want to round up immigrants. They want to conflate crime and immigration. They want to terrorize vulnerable communities. And J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, had a very strong response to this. And one of the lines that stuck with me was, authoritarians thrive on your silence. Right. Be loud for America. Yeah. Now, what does that mean? That means that when you see human rights violations, when you see civil rights violations, when you see masked men dragging people through the streets and beating people's dashboards in and windows in, film it. Amplify the truth so America can see what is happening in our streets. It also means do not get violent. Do not play into the hands of Donald Trump and his minions. They want a confrontation. Be smart, be truthful. And Chicago was out in the streets this weekend. Chicago was out there protesting. They're not going to...
Isn't this a lot of this big distraction from the fact that his approval rating is in the toilets right now? 52% of Americans say the economy is getting worse. 24% say it's getting better. Also, the Epstein thing hangs over his head. Yeah. So a lot of this is a big distraction. Point 2, didn't he run on it being an anti-war candidate? The MAGA people who voted for him, one of the reasons they liked him is because he was against war. He took on Bush. I guess that didn't include war against your own people in your own country.
That's clearly what he's saying here. Yeah. But the bigger part with him constantly sending in the National Guard is it's not effective. So you can concede, Alyssa, as you're pointing out, there are crime problems in our cities. There absolutely are. But what would be more effective is not treating the symptom, but the root causes. Yes. They could take the equal amount of money that they dispensed into D.C. and house every homeless person for a night.
But then they wouldn't have an issue.
Keep them there for, but that's my point. Politics is less about solutions and more about politicking.
And being
if they wanted
again.
to solve the problem, they could infuse money into these communities.
That actually is the point that I was going to make, because I think that's very important. People should know that the National Guard, it costs us, taxpayers, $1 million a day to have them there.
And you see what they're doing?
And they're picking up trash. They're picking up litter. That is not why I think our members of the armed forces join to serve. They don't join to serve to police citizens. They join to serve to protect our country from outside forces, right? So that in and of itself is a problem. The other thing is, I completely agree with you, Alyssa. I agree with you, Joy. There's a crime problem in this country. Yes, it's gone down. Yes, people are afraid. We want to address crime issues. I'm a former prosecutor. Yeah, I don't like crime. I think we need to do a much better job, but not necessarily militarizing the police. Yes. Let's aid the police. Let's send people that have mental health training so that we can help people that are emotionally disturbed. Let's have people that are doctors that can help with mental health. Again, let's also do something about affordable housing, because we know that people can't live. Let's help. Why can't we use some of that $1 million to feed people? Because people are hungry.
If they actually cared about hungry people, we would have never seen anyone burn $29 million worth of food that we already
benefits.
That we, listen, it's not about any of all of these solutions are brilliant and smart, but this is not about any of that. This is about something totally different. And quit trying to make everybody think that people who come to this country are coming to fight. I met lots of people who want to come to this country because they want a better life. They still want to come here. So stop making them the enemy. They're not the enemy. They are not the enemy.